So this is another tag game, this time from LinzLoves. LinzLoves tagged everyone, so that's why I'm doing this video. In case you don't know her, she's Philip DeFranco's girlfriend. She made a YouTube channel not too long ago. She's really sweet, she's really funny to watch. I really enjoy watching her, so please check her out if you haven't already. But anyway, this is the bed tag game. This is my bedroom, I'm sorry it's not as entertaining other than a few posters. I'm home for spring break from college. I haven't put much effort into my actual bedroom as of late in my family's house, so please excuse the drabbiness. A lot of these posters have to be updated. But anyway, on with the questions. Number 1, what do you think you can do but can't? For me, I think it's acting. I'm really into performing arts and media and just arts in general, but acting is definitely not my strongest thing. And I always think I can act, and I'm always looking at movies and criticizing people for not acting as well as they should be. But then when I go up and try to do it, then it kind of ends up falling apart. I end up overdoing it, and then I end up becoming just like those actors that I criticize. So acting is definitely that. Second question, what's a difficult word for you to pronounce? I have difficulty pronouncing the word ask, but in past tense. So ask. So in elementary school, whenever I tried to say the word, it always sounded like asked, and it still sounds like asked whenever I try to say the word asked. See, I even try to pronounce it and it still sounds like asked, so it's not even working. I even try slowing it down and like enunciating everything, and it still doesn't work. I'll be like, asked. And see, it sounds really funny to me. I feel like I'm like beatboxing. Asked. It sounds really strange to me. I just can't do it. I can't do it. No matter how hard I try, it's just, I subconsciously avoid saying anything that involves the word asked just because I can't say it. I cannot say it. Number 2, what's a favorite TV show from your childhood? Hands down, it's Sailor Moon. It's Sailor Moon. Like, I cannot even stress enough. It was Sailor Moon as a kid. I first got into Sailor Moon when I was in the 3rd grade, and I think I just randomly came across it when I was browsing channels. I became obsessed and started taping it after school every single day on Cartoon Network. And it just I became obsessed with it. I wanted to buy the toys, I got cards, I got merchandise. This doesn't work anymore, but this is a Sailor Moon watch. I got it as a kid when I got the Sailor Moon R movie. You know, the one with the alien flowers and Fiore and the weird, slightly homosexual moments between the alien and Darien. Anyway, I wore this watch a lot in 4th grade, and I actually met one of my best friends through this watch, and she and I always talk about it, and this is why I've never ever thrown it away. I was wearing it in 4th grade, and before class started, we all had to line up, and I've always been a pretty reserved person, and so she always thought I looked angry all the time, and she thought I was a bully. When she saw me wearing this one day, she actually came up to me, and the first thing she said to me was, "Is that a Sailor Moon watch?" And I said, "Yeah," and that's how we got to become friends. I introduced her to the group of friends I hung out with, and we've been friends ever since, really good friends ever since. So this started friendships for me. This has been hanging on my wall since the dawn of time. I was obsessed with everything, the toys, the anime, and the manga. I read this so much as a kid. I didn't even have all the books, and I just read all of them. And also from watching the anime and reading the manga, that's how I learned how to draw anime in the first place. And to this day, I still draw my eyes, my anime eyes Sailor Moon style, or like Naoko Takeuchi style. But yeah, all of this. Number 4, what are your virtues and vices? I suppose my virtues would have to include that I'm honest. I honestly don't know why people lie or keep secrets from each other. Because, I mean, I tell white lies once in a while. Or I have secrets that I just don't feel like telling people. But other than that, I'm pretty much an open book. And that kind of leads me into my second virtue, which is always showing my emotions. And some people might consider that a bad thing. But I like being able to be myself. And I grew up being picked on all the time. And there were brief moments where I succumbed to being someone else just because I got picked on all the time. But I'm so much happier being myself, and I'm so much happier having friends who love me for being myself. My vices, I guess, are that I'm really used to solitude, in the sense that I often seek solitude even when I'm in the company of friends, because Usually how it goes is I consider myself a pretty lonely person, and so I'll always be like, oh, come on, let's hang out, let's hang out. And when I do hang out with people, if I hang out with them for too long of a time, I end up getting really tired and I'm just like, okay, I want to be alone now. So there are times where sometimes I blow people off just because I want alone time to like play video games or just sleep or whatever. So that's one advice I have. Another thing is that I put off things for a really long time, such as declaring my major or just signing up for stuff. And it usually ends up like crapping all over me in the end, so I really need to stop doing that. Number 5. What's more important, love, fame, power, or money? This is gonna be super cliche, but just saying. Number 6. If you could live in any era or time period, what would it be and why? There's quite a few that I like, but I'd have to say the 1920s, and I would love to be a flapper. You know, it's this whole liberation of women cutting their hair, going out and partying, doing the Charleston all the time, and wearing those awesome flapper dresses and smoking. It's just an awesome party period. It wouldn't work with my face or my body type or anything, but I actually considered cutting my hair bobbed, just like flappers did. So that way I could walk around and be like the flapper on campus. I don't know. I thought it would be cool, but whatever. Number 7. That's my favorite number. If you had to redo your entire wardrobe in 2 stores, what would they be and why? The first would be Forever 21, because it's super big and they have all sorts of clothes there for you to choose from. And I often like going there for my more sophisticated clothing, and that's usually what I'm trying to go for now. But the other would probably have to be Hot Topic. I don't shop there that much anymore because I'm not really in much of a punky gothy stage like I was before. I don't mean to label it that way, by the way, I just don't know what other label to give it. But my wardrobe needs to be able to fit my mood, and I can dress super pretty and preppy one day, and I can dress really dark and badass another day, and I can just dress plain old quirky one day. So I need Hot Topic to balance out the niceness of Forever 21, because Hot Topic has the quirkiness and the badassery in there. Number 8. Can you recall what you were doing on this day a year ago? I can't remember exactly what I did, but most likely because my spring break is the same time every year. I had a boyfriend last year, and he got Final Fantasy 13 for both of us because he had a PS3 and I only had an Xbox, and we just both really wanted to play on PS3. And we basically dedicated spring break to playing a bunch of Final Fantasy 13. So that's probably what I was doing a year ago. Number 9. Do you have any recurring dreams? I don't. I used to, but not anymore. I don't know if it was exactly a recurring dream, but my dream often had zombies in it when I was younger, because I was super afraid of zombies as a kid, and they even still kind of creep me out now. My first ever horror movie was the remake of Dawn of the Dead, and it spooked me more than I should have, even though it was me who asked my dad to take me to see that movie. And because of that movie, I had nightmares for 3 months all about zombies, and I like couldn't sleep. And before that, my cousins would play a lot of Resident Evil 3, and I would have nightmares of Nemesis over and over and over again because of his jaws and his creepy eyes and everything. It's just zombies in my dreams. That's what's always been common in my dreams. Number 10. What's your horoscope? I'm a Taurus. Or if you want my Chinese zodiac, it's a sheep. I can't count with my fingers anymore. Number 11. What does your dream bedroom look like? I don't really have a dream bedroom. All I know is I would want either cream or like a very light burnt orange colored for my walls, and a lot of space and lots of natural light with a view, because that's not what I get in here. Oh, and hardwood floors with a big bathroom and a walk-in closet. And I'd have to have all sorts of nerdy stuff on my walls. Number 12, what position do you sleep in? Okay, so I usually sleep like this. I usually have one hand tucked under my head, and this one just kind of lays down however it wants. And I'll cup the pillow like this, and then just lay down like that. And I'll often be like curled up. I like to curl up. And I move a lot in my sleep, so this is basically just the default position I end up laying in. Number 13, who is your favorite vampire of all time? I don't know if this counts, but I would say D from Vampire Hunter D. The thing about Vampire Hunter D is that he's a done peel, which means he's half, and he doesn't necessarily accept his vampire state. In a way, he's a vampire hunter as well, so it's a little ambiguous. But in the movies and in his stories, he's always coming across vampires who he ends up having a bit of sympathy for. And so I feel like Vampire Hunter D really explores both the human and vampire sides of his world, which is why I really like him. This is the first poster I ever got, and I think it was from Comic-Con, and I want to say Yoshitaka Amano was there to sign it. But I didn't know who he was at the time, and I didn't watch Vampire Hunter D at the time. I just got it because it was a free poster. So that's why this is hanging on my wall. Number 14, what are you currently wearing on your feet? It's cold, I need socks. 15, do you have neat handwriting? Absolutely not. I've always said my handwriting looks like Sanskrit just because it's really sloppy and it all kind of runs together. And some of my letters end up being like either super angular or sometimes they have a lot of loops and everything. It's just, I have super weird handwriting. I recently came back from visiting one of my best friends, and even though I'm on spring break, I just decided to go to class with her so we could just like mess around. But this is what I was doing, her whole math class. And so I was writing stuff and drawing stuff. So I wanted to hold it up to the camera, but you can see through the paper, so it's hard to read. But this is my handwriting. And as you can see, like my G's like do these weird loops in here. And I don't know, it doesn't look as bad as it usually does, but usually a lot of people can't read it. But anyway, it says, in observing the craters of the moon, the Europeans see a man, the Japanese see a rabbit, and the fangirls, well, they see something much worse. And if you haven't seen that, it's from Go Devil Dante on DeviantArt. And she does a lot of fun little videos, especially yaoi videos. This one isn't very yaoi at all, actually. And it's just a video or a flash cartoon called L Walks. And this scene is actually from the very end, so you should go watch that. So that's the end of my questions. I hope you got to know me better as a person, and I hope I didn't weird any of you out. But anyway, I'm tagging all of you guys, so if you could post a video response, let's get to know each other. Because honestly, I'd like to see who actually follows me on this channel. So until next time, bye!